Well, you know, in Canberra, we do love a good poll, but we're going to discuss a poll of a different kind, and that is a vote on the top 100 restaurants right around the country, and that's being done through News Corp publications. I'm joined live now by Matt Preston, celebrity chef. Thank you so much for your time, Matt.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on.
Can you tell us... Oh, absolute pleasure. What kind of trends are we expecting to see come out of these top 100 lists around the country?
Look, we've done 100 for Victoria, for New South Wales, for Queensland, for South Australia, which ran in the Tiser, the Telegraph, the Herald Sun, and also in the Courier Mail. And there are certain different trends, but certain things are coming out. Brisbane is currently specifically in love with Japanese and Japanese flavours. There's a kind of a Middle Eastern buzz in New South Wales. But I think the general trends, and there are probably two or three major ones. Number one is pasta is back on the menu. There are lots of cool Italian places specialising pasta popping up all over the country. I think the rising lamb and beef prices have seen Australian chefs look more towards bushmeats like kangaroo. And you find a lot of kangaroo. That's also because I think the quality of kangaroo, which used to be quite stringy and quite tough, has improved dramatically in terms of how it's being sourced these days. And then a part of that is this whole growth in an interest in sustainability and minimising waste. So you might pop in and have a gin that's been infused with the skins of the cucumber that's actually been used for your salad. So I think that kind of the idea of using everything, not just the whole beast, but the whole vegetable, is also a big trend as well.
And now we have seen too, household consumption figures are down without getting too Canberra about this, but it does seem like people have less to spend when they're going out for these things. Are you seeing more restaurants that are more affordable in prices? Well,
look, I think that's the great thing about those four just 100 guides, is that the attitude has been to try and pick places that are kind of more somewhere you might want to go once a month rather than the big end special occasion restaurants. Most kind of Michelin guides and most of those fancy guides tend to focus on your top restaurants where, you know, a menu could be up to $245 just for the food. And one of the great things about these 100 lists is that we've looked at places that are fun to go. So, for example, the place that came out #1 in Melbourne, called Tulum, I think their four-course set menu is $65. So it's a very different experience for a top restaurant in terms of price. So yeah, definitely, if you look at those hundreds in your local state, you'll find that there's a lot of affordable stuff in there. And that, obviously, you know, that pasta trend plays into that. You can go out and have something to drink and a plate of pasta and get out of there for, you know, sub 20 bucks, which is crucial at this time.
Absolutely. Now, it'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your plans for the future. We all saw what happened with MasterChef, but you're not interested in My Kitchen Rules.
Look, I'll tell you what I'm interested in. I'm interested in coming right here and becoming a newsreader. I can see myself behind the desk. What do you reckon? I feel like I could tap some papers. And I've always had a bit of a thing about newsreading, mainly because of the idea you don't have to wear pants.
I really hope you are wearing pants. Can I just say to my colleagues in the Sydney studio with you?
I'm of course fully dressed, but there is that temptation. And anyone who's watched Anchorman or Network or any of those great shows, movies, knows that being a newsreader and being behind the desk like you are is, you know, it's an introduction to the most impressive thinkers in Australia. It's setting the agenda of what people are discussing. But how great could that be? I've done it with food, but now in a newsroom, it's Matt Preston signing off.
There you go. Well, if you turn left when you come out of the studio, our CEO's office there, you can maybe get yourself a show on Sky News.
Knock on the door, yeah. No, look at the moment, I'm very happy. I've been with Delicious for 17.5 years, so this has been my day job. It's been my day job all through the 11 years of MasterChef, and I just get to spend a lot more time. Probably means I'm bothering the editors a lot more than I ever used to, going, can I write this story, can I do that, knocking on the door. So yeah, I'm lucky. My hobby is my life, and it's nothing more fun than kind of, you know, the problem I've got now is that with all these four just 100 guides, I've got to flick through and think, I haven't been here, I need to go to this place, or what's happening in Canberra. So yeah,
tough problem to have, yeah.
No, and now I've got the time. I've now got the time to indulge it. So it's a perfect combination.
I have seen some discussion that perhaps you and Gary Meehan might be joining forces because George Callan-Burris has his own contract issues. Is this something where we might see a global show from you guys? You might be going overseas.
Look, we've talked to a lot of people overseas because obviously MasterChef's such a massive beast overseas, about 20 million viewers worldwide. So that's something we're interested in. But really, we're just keeping all our options open, talking to a lot of people, and you know, at the moment we're all employed by 10 till the end of the year. So we'll be doing the right thing by them and supporting them in whatever they want to do.
You've been a pretty astute player in the whole food industry in Australia. Where do you see the big growth opportunities from here?
Wow. I think vegetables is kind of key. I think there are two things. Vegetables interesting. There's a big interest, maybe not in terms of hardcore veganism or vegetarianism, but in terms of this interest in people to eat more vegetables. So that's definitely big. And I think you're starting to see more vegetable, plant-based dishes popping up on menus, but still, it's the restaurant that just specialises in vegetables is comparatively rare in Australia. You know, you go to a top restaurant, there'll be the standard combination of some seafood, some beef, a bird, a quail or a chicken, and maybe one vegetable dish. I think there's a big growth there, obviously, because vegetables are not only delicious, but they've also got, you know, they're associated with health, and they're comparatively good value, say, compared to a hardcore protein. I think the other thing is this sustainability idea, is us maybe looking at the impact, and especially with the issues we have with climate at the moment for farmers, looking at what we should be eating. Should we be eating more indigenous or introduced species? Kangaroo obviously is one thing, but then there's also camel. You know, we've got people starting to make dishes with carp, you know, which is a horrible invasive species, and maybe that's one way of killing, you know, two problems. What's for dinner, but also how can we sort out some of that feral population by actually eating our way through the problem.
Absolutely. Okay, Matt Preston, you've revealed your intentions to be a news anchor. Do you want to have a go at your best sign-off?
Yes. Okay, it's Matt Preston signing off from the Sky News studios. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good to your mother.